we're gonna start, folks.
So this is a dog friendly.
Hello, who's here?
Yeah, I mean, I would love it. My dog.
Well, that's the front of you.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to mark that down.
Okay,
Thank you.
David, Sally, and Steve Mack.
Good evening.
Hello.
Hi there.
All right, we're a little short-handed tonight, so let's hang on a second while we get everybody down who's attending.
Is Sally out there?
Is Sally on there now?
She's unmuted now.
Sally, are you taking minutes?
Sally?
Yes, I'm taking minutes.
Okay, thank you. If that changes, let me know and I'm happy.
Okay.
Sally, these forms, order of conditions, 18 Beechwood Drive, we've signed that. The
Yeah,
other? What was that?
She said, yep.
All right, the 28 Beechwood Drive. Are we supposed to sign both of those sheets? But they haven't, this hasn't been completed yet. To our knowledge, right? They're gonna send us a plan? A planting plan?
you should have
I got a
18
form.
Beechwood Drive,
Yeah,
28 Beechwood Drive for their certificate of compliance. They were there last meeting and they gave us a planting plan. They've already started the planting.
should we hold till they finish or? should we-
No, I think they're fine.
All right, so there's
And
two.
then we have 14 Mackinac Terrace. And I'll finish up the paperwork and send it out on Monday.
Okay. We'll sign the 28.
So you should have 2 certificates of compliance and 1 order of conditions.
Yes, we, we still have incoming. All right, we're gonna put off the minutes. I haven't gotten any.
I sent them.
I didn't get them.
I got them.
You got
You
him?
got them?
Yeah,
Oh, look at you.
yeah, well, I'm special.
Can you resend them, Sally? I did not get them.
Yep.
Thank you.
Go ahead and make copies.
Did you get them?
Next meeting.
I just checked.
Um,
They could be in my town email. I don't get my town.
informal. Would that be for? What number was that?
Where? So race broke his name.
10, we got that. We got, okay, I know where I am. Never mind. Anything on the informal agenda?
Yes. We got a request from John Davies to go look at his stone wall and let him know that it's okay. It's 2 Yale Hill Road. And, because he wants to take down the silk fencing.
All right,
That's the house.
Sally, you also had something up for 11 Wheatley Drive, SOC from DEP.
Must have
Yeah,
gone.
11 Wheatley Drive is the one where they have the clear cut
Really
on
cute
Wheatley
dog.
Drive.
Okay,
It was formerly the Cowan property. Joe, you may remember that years and years ago. We issued an enforcement order because they clear cut to the pond
yeah, yeah,
and they appealed. DEP came out and reviewed the site. Tim McKenna was the guy on the ground at that point. And they issued a superseding order. I
yeah.
heard from Dave Foulis or Foulis, I'm not really sure how you pronounce that. Anyway, I heard from him and they are looking into it.
Right, I saw that email. Okay.
All right,
So back to John Davies,
to Yale Hill.
did they want someone to go look at the stone
Yes.
wall?
Yes,
Do you want a site visit or just someone to go by and
he
okay it?
just wanted somebody to come by and say that the work had been done correctly and he could take down the silt fence.
Okay.
I can do that, unless somebody else feels,
Is there going to be a certificate of compliance on that, Sally?
I can't remember what he applied under.
Okay.
Sally, wouldn't they, it's a question of whether or not the site's stabilized. I mean, there's the brook, Campusa Brook is right behind there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's
that was why it was kind of a big deal. Because it
So,
was right on Campusa Brook.
so the question is there vegetation? Is it stabilized? Not, is the stone wall built? Is it not?
Exactly. Yeah,
So that's the reason for the look.
yes.
does anybody want to go with me?
I'm happy to go with you.
and I can go if Lisa can't.
Pick a day, time,
Go ahead.
Friday at 1?
fine.
Can I join if I'm around or no? Because you have to put it in the,
Yes, you can. 1 PM at 2 Yale Hill Road this coming Friday.
Yep.
I'll let him know.
All right. Public hearing, certificate of compliance, Bernard Hahn. I'm sure there's nobody here.
I went by and looked at the property the other day,
And
went over it once again, what it is that we want them to do. And so hopefully it will get done eventually.
certificate of compliance, Selkie. Anything from Foresight?
We got the letter from Jeff Lynch, which I forwarded on to people, stating that in fact, they did not divide up the property. And so the complication that we were anticipating is no longer an issue. So we can, we can issue the certificate of compliance with the condition that the trees will be maintained healthy and all that.
All right. So we'll continue that till we,
Well, we need a vote.
all right.
That's the motion.
Motion to continue with the compliance, certificate of compliance for 218 Old Stockbridge Road, now that things are set, well,
do we need to continue or can we?
Can we take
We
a
want to
vote?
vote, we want to vote to issue.
with the issue?
I
Yes,
make a motion, we issue the certificate of compliance for 218.
Second,
Before we second, I just had a question. What was the condition for the trees? Did we want 75%?
yes, yep,
70% in good shape over 2 years, over the next 2 years?
I think 3.
3 years, okay. I would second with that condition.
All right.
Any other discussion?
Any discussion, any opposition?
All in favor?
Say aye.
Aye.
Right. So that's going to be off our list, fine. Notice of resource area delineation for 12 Larrywog Crossroads.
I mean, David?
Strand, anyone here?
Yep.
I'm here from Foresight for Strand, Steve Mack from
Okay.
Foresight. Hi.
All right, you're up.
So yeah, we received David's email yesterday with his request for a revision to the C series wetlands. And a couple other revisions to the B, some of the B series flagging. And we've updated the plan and routed that around yesterday. And I also dropped a hard copy off at the town hall today. I'm not sure if you guys got that. I put it in the box for the Concom.
It's still there. I didn't check when I walked in the room.
Okay, well, so you guys have a hard copy of it in your box. So I think, although David, you may have another comment, but I think we addressed your recommendations on our plan from what you had asked for.
Steve, I received what I thought was a electronic version of the updated. Did you send that out too?
I did, yes.
You did, okay. I just wanted to make sure it was the same document.
Same document.
Can one of you just summarize what the difference was?
Sure. Do you want me to pull it up on the screen? Will that help at all?
Sure.
Sure, I'll go get the hard copy.
All right. Can you see that?
Yes.
There you go.
Yes.
All right. So I will just show. I don't know if we want to wait for the hard copy or not, or if you want me to go ahead and review.
You might want to wait for Ron to come back.
Okay. I will.
He'll be back in just a minute.
Sure.
Who's that? God, I've got a frog in my throat tonight.
There's help. So, Lawson?
Basil?
You want?
No, I don't know.
Please.
They're helpful tonight.
Time of the year.
Oh, I'm just really congested. I already looked at it at home.
Much easier.
All right, so you guys have the plan in front of you, and I'm just going to draw. So essentially, the C series that we had previously, and I'm just going to be very generic here, came down, I think like this roughly. And that was an area that was sort of loaded with invasives and, you know, nothing great. But we moved that line to be here now, which comes right straight down here. So this area was taken off. And also we had some flagging off the property, which was here and here, that we've also removed from the plan as part of the comments. And I think that was it, unless I missed something.
I think you got it, Steve. Did you put a revision date on the site plan?
I did, yep. It's,
Okay. Yeah.
it's right on the bottom right above topographic survey plan.
Yep. So I reviewed this yesterday when Steve sent it out. I think he turned it around within a half hour or so.
It was the only time I had.
And so my comments were fairly minor, but as far as I can tell, Foresight has addressed them.
All right, then.
Good.
Looks good.
So we should accept.
Sally's here.
I actually just wanted to confirm, because I'm still dealing with the different email addresses. Did everybody get a copy of the report that I submitted yesterday?
I did, yes.
Okay, great.
I don't think I did. A report on this project?
Yeah, so I sent it to the generic Conservation Commission email address, which I thought got routed to all of you.
Yeah, no, I think I did get it, yes.
Okay.
So do we make a decision?
Yeah, any comments on this?
Nope.
Questions? We need a motion to accept this.
I'll make a motion, we accept the new resource area delineation for Elizabeth Strand 12, Larry Log Crossroads.
I'll second it.
Aye, in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
know,
When do you think this project would start?
Well, we haven't applied for any work yet. The client's still sort of deciding how they want to proceed with the property, but now that we have this as our guide for moving forward, we'll be in front of you at some point in the future probably in the, December, January months, if I had to guess.
All right. All right, well, if anything changes on this, big red arrows, so we know what's different. We've got a couple months. Things change occasionally.
Okay. Yep. Okay.
So we're approving this plan as it stands right now. You come back to us with site plans, site work, whatever you have coming up.
Right. Yeah. Any work we have in the buffer zone will be in front of you in the not too distant future.
All right.
Thank you.
thanks.
Sure. Thank you.
Thanks, Steve.
Yep. Thanks, Dave. Good night.
Right.
Good night.
Enforcement order, 102 Interlaken Road. Hi, guys.
Hi.
State your names for the record.
Kieran Maple, Race Mountain Tree Services.
Paul Tessenaro, Whalen Nursery.
I didn't hear that.
Paul Tessenaro with Whalen Nursery.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you very well. Can you spell it, Paul?
And it's T as in Tom, ESONIERO.
Thank you.
Yep.
Trouble is the microphones are up here. All right, so you must have some drawings or some
So yeah, I
plans.
printed out a bunch. I wasn't sure who would see the email that went, if one or all. This seemed like a simpler approach.
Thank you.
Of course.
So if I can do a brief
Of course.
summary of what on our site visit, and you can address them.
Please.
The little stream crossing,
Yep.
the erosion controls, tree plantings,
The goose fence.
goose fence. Was there 5 or 4?
I think that was it.
I had-
Oh, there was some kind of not bricks,
Oh, yeah,
cinder
you're gonna-
blocks,
the
or what do you
cement-
call
The
those?
cement debris or whatever it was, you were gonna get out of there, but
Cement
that's,
is what we were
Okay.
going.
yeah, that's,
Go for it. So, goose fence is gone as of this afternoon. And the straw wattles have been reinforced.
okay.
And
Stake them down as well as,
yeah,
yeah,
those were both done, I was told, by the end of today. The white circles on your drawing are existing trees that were there and are there for the site visit. We are requesting to leave the ketsuras that have been planted in place. I believe that's acceptable. And then colors on the drawing this evening are new and proposed plantings.
So the ones that are in place that were invasive though, correct?
No.
no, just two of them, they're not invasive,
They're not
No, they're
invasive,
just
but
not-
they're
I
not,
misunderstood.
not native.
Okay.
they're not invasive.
Those are.
And what were you
Oh, thank you.
doing for ground cover?
Ground cover, I believe, was up in the air at this point in time as we were gonna wait for some warmer temperatures to see what regenerated based on ferns and, was that David that was with with Fleetwood?
Yeah.
Had made it
Yeah,
there.
yeah, I mean, since the site is fairly level and it's not, I don't think it's a huge erosional risk type of site. My experience, I found that just letting the seed bank that's in those soils do its thing is generally the best way to get the type of plant community growing at the herbaceous level that you want, because the seeds that are there are already adapted to the very specific moisture and humidity and soil chemistry and all that stuff. So what I would suggest is waiting, give it to like June of the growing season of 2023 and see how it looks. And if it still looks patchy after that, then maybe you fill it in with some procured ferns and things like that. But my sense is things are going to come in fairly naturally there at that ground cover level.
So I'm okay with that, with the condition that if invasives start moving in there, which they might, that you really stay on top of it and keep the invasives out.
Yep.
Has the water stopped flowing?
When did it rain last? It has. Yeah.
Are you gonna attempt? Not this
At this
fall.
point in time, no, we're not gonna attempt it. We're never gonna get enough sun on it to dry it up like it was when we planted in July.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think you're just gonna make more of a mess than necessary. It's gotta wait for the right time to get in there and do that.
Are you still gonna access that area over the little stream area? Is that your?
I can access everything that needs to go in that's proposed here can be done by hand with a ball cart.
Okay,
I'm not going through that again. There's no reason to with the size of material that we're proposing.
okay.
Well, then the stream
Yeah,
bed can be fixed.
Yeah, so-
Immediate instead of
for
waiting.
the winter, fall, spring, that it doesn't deteriorate more.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you think you'll plant in the spring?
I'll plant when
It's
the
dry enough.
conditions are appropriate to get in there.
So,
So it's up in the air. I'd say no later than some point in June is my guess, but unknown. So that's gonna leave heavily on Andreas, the property manager, to water these plants once they're established, if we're gonna be going into the heat of the summer.
so I would like to condition high survival rate, since there's so
Yeah.
few going in, that if any of these trees don't make it, that they be replaced. That we want to see them live at least 2 years and get
Usually-
established.
Usually the contractors, planters, nursery people have a 1-year guarantee on it.
Yeah, we have a year on it to begin
And
with.
if they plant it themselves, it's definitely,
Typically we win.
and I know they can get water down to it, because the first time I went down there, there was a sprinkler.
Okay.
They don't need a sprinkler now. Okay,
So what's everybody's attitude towards the Katsura trees?
they're there. If you take them out now, you can't get them out now. There's no way to get them out.
They're too
It's going to be too
heavy.
much of a mess.
They're
Yeah,
way too heavy.
Yeah. How big are they?
I don't know.
Sorry to interrupt. I apologize for bringing this up right now, but I just got onto the vascular plants in Massachusetts list, which shows what's native and invasive by county in Massachusetts. And I didn't realize this till literally 2 minutes ago. It looks like Katsura is actually listed as an invasive in Berkshire County.
really.
I can pull up the screen if you want to see it.
I'll take your word.
Pick your word.
Okay.
Didn't know that. Huh.
I didn't know that either. Actually, I wasn't really familiar with that species till we talked about it last week, but it appears it's invasive in Berkshire County.
Did you
And
get,
that's Cercidophyllum japonicum.
Yeah, that's the one. I can actually, if you guys want, I could share the screen really quickly and you could see exactly how this works.
okay, yeah, please do. I'm interested.
Let me see, give me a second. Let me close the other crap that I don't need open. I've got too many windows open. Where is it? Here it is. Okay, so this is the vascular plants in Massachusetts. I think this is the most recent version. I'm using the digital one. These are all the counties abbreviated up here at the top. The BE means Berkshire County, right? And I go down and I did a search for Katsura. This is the one where, this is the species right here, correct? Yeah, and I means invasive, N means native.
Do they also give you a definition of what is invasive?
Hey, come on, lie down.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a definition at the top. I can look for that if you want.
No,
to read it.
I'll peel that out.
So,
Yeah.
so
Sorry, thanks.
given that, and given that Elizabeth's concern was finances for the homeowner, I would propose in the spring, you move those to some other place on the site, so she's not losing the tree, but they're not invasive right close to the water there. She'll still keep
Those are
them.
some of the bigger ones.
That'll change the fixing the stream idea, because they were put in with something that could lift them, and they'll need to be extracted.
Well, that was just my proposal. I don't know how everybody
How
feels
tall
about
are
it.
So one of them's a multi-stem plant that's 10 to 12 feet tall and probably had a 40-inch root ball when it was installed. The other was 4-inch caliper, similar height, similar root ball size.
Yeah,
They're machine plants.
yeah, oh, yeah.
Was that like tree spade machine or?
We had field
Bobcat?
dug them earlier in the spring with a skid steer and a hydraulic spade, yeah.
Could you get them out again that way? Or is that,
Before they set root, I can pull them out with a set of forks.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
You could also just cut them at grade and pull them.
Yeah, we could be done with it right there. That'd be up to,
Yeah,
I guess, a stone.
there's gonna be some expense either way.
Yeah,
It's a shame to lose a decent tree, but
the most inexpensive and is to cut them.
Yeah.
Be done with it.
no, that's up to you.
Okay.
But we'll need, if you wanna, they
If we wanna move
should be
them,
replaced with something.
Yeah.
Do they need to remove both or just the one close to the water?
No, both, because it's all close to the water. Yeah.
Yeah. So I have something concerned with that, but with the whole subject. So I was reading that restoration plans can be incorporated as dated attachments to the enforcement order. David, do you know about this at all? Have you ever dealt with this?
Is that something that's stated in the restoration plan?
No, I was reading in the enforcement manual that was issued by MAC, and they said that restoration plans can be incorporated as dated attachments with the enforcement order, and that allows you to issue a certificate of compliance.
Yeah,
It's a
procedurally,
mechanism for that.
yeah, procedurally, and I don't know what Max says about this, but procedurally, when one takes enforcement on something through a formal enforcement order, a certificate of compliance is actually meant to certify that a project that was conducted under a specific permit was done according to the permit. An enforcement order is not a permit. It's a directive, right? It's a mandate to do something.
Right, but the restoration plan is, basically a concern, it's not a mandate, it's, it's a set of
It's
conditions.
the deliverable that the commission asked for in response to the enforcement order, as I understand it. I've not actually seen the enforcement order, so I'm guessing you guys put in the enforcement order that appear at a hearing and put together a restoration plan, give it to us by this date, but that's my understanding.
That
That's
they were
what you did.
they were to deliver the restoration plan by September 13th.
Right,
That's all there.
right. I think, we talked about it at the last hearing, and we talked about doing the site visit and extending that date, I think, to September 26th. So it sounds like they fulfilled that obligation to get it to you by this meeting. And yeah, so I guess the commission just needs to decide whether or not they want to approve the restoration plan or not.
Okay.
But I'm sorry, going back to the way this works, if, when the responsible party comes back into compliance, the way I would handle it is not through a certificate of compliance, which is meant for permits, but through just a simple letter called a return to compliance letter. Just says that they've satisfied the restoration plan, the enforcement order is lifted, it no longer exists. Because they probably want something like that just to clear them.
Yeah. Well, I'm very inexperienced in this, so that's why I brought it up, because
Yeah, no, it's a good question.
Mechanism to use.
Yeah, that's a good question.
So we would want to see the site early next summer when the plantings are done.
Yeah, and then we could issue that letter, return to compliance, and everything be fine. So
And then the last question is for the 2 years, 2 growing seasons, you want it, the plants to be at 100%. So does that, in 2024 is when that letter gets issued?
No, we'll do it,
Well, what I'm saying is that, does it have?
We'll do it
to be
next-
2 growing seasons? You'll do it initially that we've installed everything.
yes,
And then after the fact, you come back and visit again in 2 years?
yeah,
Just so
that's, that's
Scott
fine.
knows what,
Yeah, you don't have to wait that whole time.
No.
Just If something dies in the interim,
replace.
replace it.
Yeah,
Yep.
Yeah.
that's, the way you do business anyway, so.
Yeah, I would do
All
that.
right, so,
And you'll give us, maybe get to Sally a new one of these with the,
Yeah,
That's sort of
to
out.
take the cercidophile either out
It was
Yeah.
either
or
this one or
remove
this one.
and flush cut, and then replace with 2 more native
right,
trees.
yeah,
native trees.
however you
Get-
decide to get them out of there,
Okay,
that's up to you.
okay.
Just
Paul, do you expect that that species would stump sprout if you cut it at grade or not? Do you know?
Yeah,
It probably would, so.
Yep.
Okay.
So just out of curiosity, the Cornus racemosa, is that the gray dogwood?
yes.
Yeah, I thought so. That thing spreads.
That'll handle wet.
Yeah, then it colonizes.
Oh, yeah, I found that out.
Yeah,
It's pretty,
It is.
yeah, fall color right now.
yeah.
And do you know, I read in a book on North American shrubs that more birds build their nests in that shrub than any other North American, and northeastern shrub.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's the gray dogwood. They love the berries. Have you ever noticed how they strip the berries out of there? But they love to, I think that's why they nest there. It's like a food supply right there.
yeah.
Later or something.
It's a nice plant.
Okay, so the understanding is we're gonna approve your plans. When you get everything planted, you send us an email or note, whatever. Somebody will stop by, just look at it. Then we issue a return to compliance. And a year from now, or a year from whenever, June or whenever, if everything is still there, we'll sign off on the whole thing and you're good to go.
Good.
Okay? We make a motion to accept this plan.
Will you look for and want to know about the non-plantings, the cement removal and the stream fixing? Will photos of those things right into you guys kind of dot that?
The concrete cement, that's a given that you're gonna get rid of that,
Yeah.
The stream, yeah, I'd like to have a picture of that.
Okay.
And the goose fence.
And a fence. Sure.
Yeah, just some photos of
Yeah.
no fence and,
And if you wanted to plant there, go ahead. If you don't want to plant there, whatever, but the fence has got to go.
yeah,
It'd be nice to have some more plantings along there. We encourage people to give a right of way kind of between the lawn, and this isn't going to really be a lawn, and I don't think you're going to get geese up in there with the plantings and everything like that. But it's a passageway for along the edge of the stream that critters like to use rather than go out into lawns and open areas, so. Be nice if you planted something along there. I encourage it, but the fence was the primary thing that we had to remove,
yeah.
okay? Some of that was pretty dense as it was, and there's a couple places it wasn't, so. We make a motion to accept this planning plan.
Second.
All in favor? Any
Aye.
opposition, discussion? Okay.
Thank you
good.
for doing that.
Thank you.
Looks good. Hopefully it dries out in the spring enough to get there. And then it can rain moderately for the rest of the summer.
Exactly. All right, thank you.
Okay.
So I have a question.
Thank you.
Yes.
Performance standards? I say this every meeting.
But don't we have something else?
I think
Yeah,
that's the last.
sir, what,
My name is Michael Hasham. I'm an attorney. I'm here on behalf of 11 Drive. I sent you a letter indicating that I would appear today. And I'm responding to a letter.
I did get that email.
11.
Good night.
I got it in my
Pull
email.
up a chair if you want.
Yeah, come closer, sir.
Can you say your name again, please?
Yeah, Michael Hashem, I'm an attorney from Pittsfield. I'm here on behalf of Lisa Goldman, who's the owner of 11 Lisa Drive, and she's with us by Zoom.
Oh, okay.
And I'm responding to a letter that was sent by Sally. Do you need a copy of it? You have it?
I've seen it.
I'll take a look at it. Ah,
And
I'm
I
familiar with the site.
sent a letter middle of last week indicating I would be here tonight.
Okay. All right. Don't know when the clear cutting started. It may have been previous owners. Is your client a fairly new owner to this
Yes.
property?
Yeah, she's owned the property, I think, maybe a year or so.
Okay. The previous owner did not respond to our request. We never did get we don't know if we ever found him or not. We sent letters and,
I think he didn't sign for it. He just left it in the mailbox, post office box.
Yeah,
There's been no clear cutting by Lisa. I mean, right now she's undertaking some work up by the pool, but it's at least 100 feet, 75 to 100 feet out of the buffer zone.
okay. The Conservation Commission tries to monitor and control the clear cutting of water properties, water boundaries. This happened on the previous owner's watch. So we would like to see if we can get it corrected. There's no penalty towards you for the condition that's there now, but we would like to get some plantings put in. You may or may not have a goose problem from the pond, Lily Pond to your property, which could be corrected with some shrubs, plantings. Usually it's 30 feet from the water's edge. We asked a buffered area, and that's,
35.
pardon?
35.
5.
I misspoke. 35 feet from the high water mark.
This
That-
property is very steep. So there were supposed to have been permanent markers placed at the 100-foot buffer zone, beyond which there would be no cutting. I don't know if that's happened.
So no cutting would be no more lawn mowing?
Yeah, there's a limitation of lawn mowing one time a year, and my client, since she's owned the property, has complied with that.
Okay.
But there were two orders of condition, when I did the title search on this property, there were two order of conditions recorded, and there were two certificates of compliance indicating that whatever requirements were initiated.
Do you have dates on any of that?
Yeah, I can give you those dates. In fact, I can give you the certificates of compliance. So here's one of them. And so the orders of condition were sometime back. The first one was in 1995, August of 1995, and there was a certificate of compliance issued in 2003. And then the second was a superseding order of condition in 2002, and there was a certificate of compliance recorded in December of 2003.
So I wonder if the cutting happened after that. This precedes me. But do we know when the cutting happened? If it
No,
was
we have no information about when, we certainly haven't done any cutting.
But when, Sally, do you know when the year of the enforcement order?
Well, I'm guessing it was 1995. I was new to the commission at that time, and I remember going down and spending a lot of time where it was all cut. And there was a superseding order person at the time who came out and looked at it was Tim McKenna. And so I know that David Follis is looking at it. So it was a long time ago.
There wouldn't be anything in the registry of deeds on an enforcement order. I don't think that gets registered. So,
We wouldn't have any knowledge of that
thought it-
as a new buyer.
no, I just read today.
There of any enforcement orders. That would be,
It's in the manual, but it doesn't.
Well, I know that the markers that were supposed to delineate the 100-foot buffer were supposed to be permanent and forever.
okay, I don't argue with that, but what I do argue with is that there was a certificate of compliance that was issued by the commission saying that
Yeah.
that the party of interest complied. So I can only assume that at some point that was satisfied. And here's the other certificate of compliance.
Well,
Can't read it.
So I would assume that that would not have been issued unless somebody went out and checked to see if the markers were placed.
all right. So,
So I'm here on behalf of my client to find out what we can do or what you want her to do or.
let's replace the markers, 100 feet from the high water mark, okay?
I don't know if they're there or not there.
Let's see if they're not there, we need some new ones, okay? Just, this is for you now. This is for the people that mow your lawn.
And what's considered a marker? I mean,
Iron
Thunder.
stake,
okay.
that could do it, some, kind of like a boundary marker. They usually, it's like a water shut off type, a metal stake into the ground.
Like a
Gap on it.
surveyor's marker?
Yeah, something like that. All right,
100 feet from the water line?
Right, high water mark. And that would be your stop area for the lawnmower. Okay? Let it return to natural.
Is it natural now if we looked at it?
It's not natural, no.
Okay.
It's, there's a few feet of cattails and whatever. We're talking up the bank a ways because it's pretty steep and it dries out after, I don't know, 10 feet or 20 feet, I guess. So part of that is not mowable anyways because it's just,
A lot of that's not mowable.
yeah. And 100 feet may well still be not mowable because the runoff from the bank and the hillside, and it might, best thing you could probably do for it is just to ignore it, let it go. It's high enough where I don't think you're gonna have a obstruction of your view in the next 30 years or 40 years. Nothing's gonna grow that fast in there, so I think natural is gonna be the way to go. If you wanted to plant some sort of native shrub or bush in that area, that'd be fine. It could be decorative, something that turns color in the fall. You know, your landscape person would recommend that. We would like to know if you're gonna do a planting and what you're gonna plant.
I don't think we have plans for that right now.
That's okay. If you want to make it decorative, that'd be the way to go. Otherwise, you just let what's there do its thing and we're happy with that. To continue with the mowing as far down as you do is not a good thing for the lakeside. Whatever grows there, ferns, grasses, sedges, whatever, help filter whatever runoff there is from your property before it hits the lake. And it's a green area that's going to grow and be a habitat for critters and wildlife along the shores. You might have ducks nests there. You might have all sorts of things in there. So that's what we're requesting, that there be a 100-foot buffer. I don't know how far up the hillside that would go on visually. I don't know
I don't believe that's an issue.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, the pool is at probably 200, 225 feet from the water.
So it's not gonna really,
So do you believe the once a year now mowing that you do doesn't even go into the 100-foot buffer?
I believe that the original order was that it would be in no cut zone below the 100 feet.
No, my question was the once a year, does it even encroach on the 100 feet? Or is that the 100 to 200?
Looks mowed.
Oh, it doesn't.
I think, isn't it mowed?
It's only been mowed once this year, but
Within that 100 foot, it's
I don't think she's gone into the 100 feet. Lisa, have you gone into the 100 feet with the mowing?
No, I don't believe so.
okay.
all right, well, if we mark it off, then we'll know for sure, then you're good. There'll be no more questions asked about that if everything's in compliance. There's a visual from the other side of the lake that kind of prompted this.
Do you want to keep these?
Do you want,
No, we probably have those in our file. Oh, do you have other copies of those? Yeah, we'll keep them just in case.
I didn't bring the orders. I assumed you had them. I just wanted to show you that there were certificates, because that's contrary to what the letter states.
and I,
They were recorded. And the letter stated that.
Well,
there's no-
whatever compliance somehow got things changed or just got ignored. The new landscaper, whoever mows your lawn, maybe tried to get farther down in the last few years. So
Paper has been there. He told me he's been there since the first owner, Mr. Cowan. And he knows my property. And behind my fence, okay, where my fence is that drops real steep, that's 200 feet from the pond. He does not go more than 100 feet. He said, and he never brings his lawnmower down there. He only brings a weed whacker. So there's no heavy equipment past my gate, my fence, which my fence is 200 and plus
all right,
away from the pond. So whenever I go, just so that the grass doesn't grow up into my fence and around a little bit around there, he does only one guy with a weed whacker, and if the guy's not there, they don't do it.
So do they weed whack within the 100 foot?
Only the 100 from my fence, which is 200 feet from the lake,
Yeah.
to I don't even think another 100 feet, but just so that it's not, it doesn't grow up into my fence.
Sure.
So he takes, and it goes steep down. So he'll go down where the steepness is and cut the grass. But there's a big amount of grass between the grass and then what looks like the wetlands. There's a lot of grass there. And it's kind of has some like punky looking things growing in it. They never take that down. That to me was the wetlands.
all right, well, we're talking 100 feet from the high water mark. Wherever that is, if you have another 100 feet till your fence, he can continue with his string trimming in there.
That's not, I don't believe that's a problem.
Okay,
All right. Thank you.
so any other issues, any questions?
No.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We're good with this discussion then.
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you for coming.
Thanks for your time.
So I have a question, not for him, but just in general. So if there is an enforcement order on a property, is that not recorded in the deed?
I don't think it is, but I'm not going to be too positive with you
Okay,
on that.
because that's how it gets,
Right.
yeah, that, I mean,
But
but that's,
you know the manual, the enforcement manual that Mac put out.
yeah.
So I spent about 6 hours reading that today. So I'm almost positive on that, but that is not recorded, which was one of the reasons why they said that you should, incorporate the restoration thing, because I'm not really quite sure. Anyway, But I'm not going to insist on it. I was going to say to you, when I get home,
Yeah.
I'll check it.
I know,
And
I'm
I'll
just
write
saying,
you.
in Great Barrington, we always attached it to the deed. So
Really?
if there
An
was a new
enforcement order?
owner, yep, so if there was a new owner, if they
I
sold
just
the
got
property,
it today.
they were
and
still responsible.
the
for it.
place
I could be
From
wrong.
this, but
I'll put this on the desk downstairs
For-
for the file.
so this is, that's the order there, right?
All right,
So performance standards.
hang on, we're gonna get to that. We'll do it, we'll do it.
Thank you, thank you.
Would you?
We've signed 18 Beechwood,
Yeah,
the 28 Beechwood Drive.
no, 28.
Do that, do I?
28 Beechwood Drive. We signed 18.
You see?
Signed 18, do you want us to sign 28?
What do we do with it? Sally,
Yeah,
the 28, we're okay with signing both of those?
I think
yeah, so we're supposed to sign the certificate of compliance for 28 and for 14 Mackinac Terrace. Those are certificates of compliance. And then the order of conditions for 18 Beechwood.
We did 18.
We don't, all we have is the two signature sheets, one, and
I think she has a neighbor who doesn't like her or something.
Yeah.
I imagine one is for 28 Beechwood Drive, Wellington.
Yes,
But there should be two
there should
separate.
be two. There should be one for 14 Mackinac Terrace.
I do not have that. You've got 2 pages for, well, they could be for anything because there's nothing on them. All right, we'll sign both and straighten it away.
And if there's something else to sign, Sally, you can get it in the box in town hall and we can come sign it
Yep.
when you're feeling better.
All right, performance standards. I haven't seen them. David, did you get a copy of the performance standards sent to you?
Yeah.
Do you have any
Mark-
comments?
Yes,
Uh-oh.
which maybe the commissioners didn't want to hear. So Mark reviewed them through completion, and I've started polishing up our comments, and I'm about a little over halfway through. I was wondering if, instead of doing this during a public meeting, since these are just draft, they're really regulations, they're not performance standards, right? This is the commission's version of a set of regulations that are supposed to augment their bylaw, correct?
Correct.
That's really what these are.
Yeah.
So they're wetlands rules for the town bylaw. I was wondering if we wanted to set up a time for us to sit down and just go over these in person around a table, because I think the comments I have are, you'll want to hear.
Okay.
Yep.
And
Make a,
Evening, to get a number here, it's gonna have to be an evening
Okay,
section.
yeah. you guys, we
do
can
we want
decide
a
on,
Tuesday? Do we want a Tuesday, because we usually meet on a Tuesday?
I'll give you
No.
I'm committed on the opposite.
Oh, okay. How about a Wednesday?
Thursday.
Any,
Thursday, select board.
you guys, your Thursdays are, yeah, I know. Wednesdays,
Wednesdays after 6. I could do a Wednesday after 6.
could do a Wednesday at 6 sometime.
Or
After 6.
Mondays, how about Mondays?
I can do that.
I can do the second or fourth Monday.
Monday?
I'm good.
Oh, you're retired.
Second or fourth Monday in October.
second or fourth Monday. So that would be, let me make sure I got my correct calendar here.
The 10th is, well, Indigenous Peoples' Day, or the 24th.
Sure. Yeah, the 24th, I'm wide open that night.
10:24.
What time?
Whenever you'd like.
6?
10:24, 6 PM.
How about 6:30 or 6?
6. Earlier the better.
Can you make 6?
Sure.
All right.
Okay, right here.
Yep.
Well, we'll see about which room is available, but I'll check on that.
Or there's the workroom.
Yeah, if we could do that room. This floor, 6 o'clock on the 24th.
Okay, I've got it in my calendar right now.
Thank you.
You bet.
Is it major?
It's mostly structural, so not major. I didn't see major problems. It's just the wording of things and making sure terms are clear and defined. And then I'm giving you a sneak peek, I guess. And then figuring out, and perhaps you already discussed this because I saw some comments that alluded to it, but there are certain scenarios where you guys will be taking jurisdiction over an activity and requiring somebody to either submit an RDA or an NOI for something that is only triggered by the town bylaw. But if I understand them correctly, at least if I understand correctly the way they're written right now, you're suggesting that people use the existing Mass DEP forms. And I think I even saw reference to sending a copy of that to Mass DEP. So I think this is just a broad-based comment. I think we've got to tease out the stuff that is specific to Stockbridge's bylaw and come up with a very simple and precise way to handle those types of projects versus just throwing them on Mass DEP forms, having applicants send a copy of that to DEP, which is just apt to confuse people at DEP because they don't have a 200-foot buffer zone, for instance. At DEP.
So a lot of that wording came from town council. Is there any way, I don't know if it's possible, to have that person at the meeting? Because what I envision is where we make these changes and then it's going to go back to town council. And then what town council does is going to have to come back again. So is there any way to get everybody in the room and agree? Because that wording didn't come from us. That wording came when we sent it to town council and that came back to us. So I don't know what the rationale.
I can ask.
I think if you want to do that, then we'll probably have to work around David and Donna, the town council schedule.
Yes.
And then we'll have to accommodate them.
Yeah, that's
You know,
fine.
what
But
do you
I think if that's possible, that would make a lot more
It
sense.
would make a lot more sense.
Than going back and forth, because this has been sent around so many
I
times.
know, and I
appreciate your comments. I appreciate your comments, but.
Yeah, I'm
Good to have
getting
everybody-
involved the 11th hour. I don't want to throw a wrench into everything,
No,
but my goal is also to provide risk management for the commission. So,
No, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. But if we can all be together, I think we could, it'd be a better use of everybody's time.
Any other business tonight? Comments, questions?
You'll ask about that?
I will.
Thank you.
I'll talk to
Well, I had sent
Thank you.
this paper about the town's plan to use part of the bird foot sanctuary for, a swap shop. And, I don't pretend to be a lawyer, but I did go through the MAC manual and the Mass General laws as much as I could. And it seems to me that it would be completely illegal to do this, whether, even a part. So I wanted to notify the selectmen because I understand that at least some of them, not perhaps Jamie, but some of them are already making plans to order material to build this structure. So I just wanted to
So
run it by everyone and see what they thought.
I had two comments. Good letter.
Thank you.
But I was confused. I have not seen it. And I was confused because some of the wording, even when I went back to the former notes, some say it's on the boundary, some say it skirts the property, some say it forms part of the property. So I'd like to really see.
It's actually, I
what we're
have the
talking
deed
about it.
and I've looked it up in the, I went and got the deed like 4 years ago.
Yeah,
And because I had a list of town properties and I wanted to see which ones belonged to the Conservation Commission. And I found the foot property did. So then I went and measured it and our property or the foot property basically is, if you stand at that cement pad
I haven't seen it.
Okay, you don't go to the transfer station? Oh, anyway, there's a cement pad, and if you come 40 feet towards the parking lot, that's roughly where the boundary is. So they want to put it on that pad, so 40 feet into the bird sanctuary.
Okay.
So basically almost all the lawn area.
Yeah, that place where they used to have trucks and everything, you know, most of it's finally been removed. But anyway, and also too, another project to use this property has emerged at the select board of, you know, cutting a walkway through from Pine Woods to the Grange, and nobody's talked to the Conservation Commission about it.
What was that?
Evidently, the money was approved for drawings, but not for the project,
For which project?
the sidewalk, the walkway, whatever it is.
Right.
And there was some discussion today about
But,
how do you maintain them?
but also too, who obtained this money and who is considering this? The select board? Because they have no authority over this land,
No,
none whatsoever.
that's been discussed.
So I would propose we talk to them. When I read this letter, I don't disagree with the letter. I didn't, the last paragraph I felt was a little hostile, quite honestly.
So did Louise.
I did. Which is not the tone I would like to have. I would like to start with a conversation.
See, I thought they deserved to be rebuked, but that's just.
Not all the select.
Not all the
Oh,
selectmen, certainly not all the selectmen.
Or select persons.
Did you read that?
So
Anyways,
can we start?
I'll meet you there anytime you want.
Okay, but can we also, I'm happy to, maybe when we go to, on
Sure.
Friday,
Yeah, sure.
we go and we can go there quick. But can we start by talking to the select board rather than sending a letter?
Well, we'd also have to talk to the town administrator, because he's also very, I think, very hot for this. I'll tell you what, how about we send a letter, but we take out that offensive paragraph at the end?
Well, it's not
I-
so
I-
offensive, just tone it down.
I'm not, I'm
Which
not,
parts? Oh, go
Just
ahead.
the last paragraph.
Yeah,
I would prefer a conversation before a letter. I mean, if you want to send it from you, that's okay, but I
Yeah.
don't want it, I'm not comfortable
okay,
with it being
from the
the Conservation Commission.
right, okay.
I don't know how everybody else feels, so.
What do you think, Joe?
I was doing business with him. Excuse me.
That's all right.
No, we're trying to get a site plan of what's actually there, parcel.
Oh, right, he hasn't seen it because he, like Lisa, he doesn't go to the transfer
Well,
station.
it's his idea. He's pulling it up right away.
Go ahead.
No,
I'll pull it up.
no, pull it up. It's better to see what it is.
Show him what you, yeah.
Do you go to the transfer station, Jamie?
I,
Rob?
Pictures.
I was there today
Was there-
and yesterday.
I just think in terms of,
well, because I was.
it just feels divisive to do it this way.
And I was really excited when it got
I think
cleaned
they
up
need to
and then you were going to retake it as conservation.
Right.
And then there was this debacle about the old Talbot Center.
Right.
And then it sort of, everything went quiet and I was like, oh,
Yeah, here you
what
go.
does that mean?
Yeah.
And now it started to gather.
Dust.
But, you know, just last month, the select board wanted to use Gould Meadows for auxiliary parking for a sporting
Not
event.
all,
Not all this lake,
Well-
right? Certain parties on this lake.
Transfer station.
They were all gung ho about using Gould Meadows.
no,
Conservation
gung-ho is not the right
Yeah, no, I
word.
don't think that.
Gung-ho was
Yeah,
not
I was, did you?
the sentiment.
No, were you at the meeting?
Oh, I watched it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Patrick seemed gung ho.
This is it,
I
right?
don't
Not,
think so.
he is not the,
Oops, sorry.
we're being recorded. He is one person.
Right.
Yeah, there's
Wasn't
I
funny,
will-
he's the chair.
water department.
Chucky was not
Close-
gung ho.
close to
He
town,
was
right?
actually.
Jamie
against-
Manassi was not gung-ho.
No, she wasn't. But anyway, the idea was, you know, to use Gould Meadows Conservation Land for auxiliary parking. And then we'll use the bird sanctuary for the municipal junk shop, right? And then now it's like, we'll use the bird sanctuary to cut a path and bikeway through for pine woods. Well, that's not what conservation land is for.
I thought the bike path was going on the road.
No,
No,
Because that's downtown Stockbridge.
it's gonna go around behind
So,
the compactor.
So again,
Because in the-
I would like a conversation. I just think we start by talking.
No, no, just,
that's what this is.
I feel like that's like a smaller.
right, yeah.
Well, it's telling them where
But
they're
I would like them invited or we go
Church,
to
yeah,
them
we
and talk to them.
But I would like them to read the law,
Get this out.
because that's the problem, is they don't want to follow the law.
So this
They want to do what they think is
the
what they think is a good
Right.
idea.
that we're talking
They need to
And
be
here's the company.
informed.
I mean, you can
And
follow them.
I want to see that
Well,
green, okay?
No, because it's not the same as sitting down and reading
Change
it.
it a little bit.
Just telling them, then it's like, well, you know what I mean? This spells it out,
So
you
here,
know?
I'm only one voice, but
No, I know, and I'm only one voice, but I feel very strong. I started this, right? And I went through a lot just to get the first vehicles. And then when I saw that Hugh Page was doing such a great job, I was thrilled. And then I turn around and now it's like, yeah, we'll put a junk shop there. That's not why I started this.
I agree with you that it shouldn't be there. I disagree with you.
so here's
Well,
the street.
With the select.
Well,
Well, right now, my goal is to remove the skate pad.
right. Well,
Where
what do
is
you, well, we should do,
Shed you.
Got it.
okay.
Oh, right.
Can you print that
Sure,
to town hall?
sure.
I think we have to remember that the selectmen were blindsided, at least to some degree, with the panic over what was going to happen to the Josh.
I only knew that
and-
night at that meeting.
And everyone did not want, no one wanted to be the person to cancel the Josh. And they were being presented with this as the only option.
Yep, I agree.
So, you know, I think that it was understood that this was not a great idea.
But it shouldn't have even been considered, Sally.
But what I'm saying is I don't think they had time to consider it. I think they just got it presented to them and that was that.
Yeah,
It was,
Tom, I heard about this maybe Saturday or Sunday before
Right.
the selectmen's meeting.
I knew
didn't have
that
great-
night, that Thursday night
Right.
at 6:30.
And that
Yes,
was proposed to them by someone else.
right.
So all of a sudden, there was an option. Well, in the 2 days that this option came about and the meeting, there was no time to consider anything else or to look for anything else, or even time to say, this is not a good idea, though it was said it's not a good idea.
I heard about it partly after the fact. I was in the Adirondacks and I, at the time, said, I don't think this is permissible anyway. And I think that got the ball rolling for people to be looking for other options.
This is everything right here. We should print this.
So, but we're not, that's over and done with. Josh is all done with.
No, I'm just saying, I notice a trend here,
Well,
and the
that's,
trend needs to be stopped.
Okay,
You know?
Property maps.
Again, I don't disagree
Anywhere
that this
we get
shouldn't
money from
happen.
this year.
I do disagree with how we approach it. And I feel like the select board in general has been really supportive. And I just, makes me uncomfortable to send a letter like this. I would ask that we start with a conversation.
I don't know where it's insulting.
Yes, type it in.
It just tells them what the facts, the disagreeable facts are that they don't want to hear. It doesn't do it in, it doesn't say anything against them until the very last paragraph. The rest of it is just the law that they should be enforcing and are ignoring instead.
I prefer a first step with conversation. That's, but whatever you think, whoever you think you should, or whatever the rest of us think.
let me,
That's what that is.
I gotta come to town hall again tomorrow anyways. Let me broach the subject. See what their plan really is, if they even have a plan. I don't know if they have a plan. I don't know, I don't think they have the monies. So there's a lot of unknowns here. I will voice the opinion that it's not, it's not their decision again anyways. And let them know that there's gonna be opposition, and if they wanna continue, that we will give them the law.
Well, I would like the town council to look over what I've written, because I think she'll agree with it. The first time this was brought up by the chair of the select board at the time, she went to the town council, and the town council said, based on the deed restrictions, that this was a no-go. Then she came back with an equally illegal proposition, but that never was checked out by the town council, So I would like the town council to see, I would like to hear what she has to say about it.
Town council did issue a response saying that Gould Meadows and also, I'm sure, the Foot property are the responsibility of the Conservation Commission and the Conservation Commission alone.
Right.
I'd say it's.
So it's up to us to uphold the law.
Right.
And we're really grateful that you look into it, because I think nobody knew.
But I take your point, Lisa. It's just that.
And I think as a citizen, you have every right to do what you
Yeah, you
choose to
can-
do, but I think we can't all sign it.
Right. No, I understand.
Yeah, no, you have a right to send whatever you want. I'm just saying I don't
The
like.
selectmen sort of been informed right now
Of what?
of this whole,
Yeah,
and if the conversation continues,
It's taped.
to as far as the select board even, it won't be a complete surprise.
Finally.
Well,
So let's table this till the next meeting and give us some time to explore. And
right. And since I do sit on the Conservation Commission, I feel like if I sent it without agreement, then it might create the wrong impression. And I don't want to do that. I understand that you feel strongly about this. I feel strongly about it, but I don't want to pull you
Right.
along.
But you're
into
still a
something.
citizen. You can,
Well,
you
yeah,
have every
but
right to write a letter.
well, I suppose. I'll leave that to the chair. I'll see what he wants. All
we're gonna table this till the
right.
next meeting,
right.
okay?
Just don't let him order too many materials for that.
No,
They're shacked.
there's no monies available at the moment.
Good. All right,
I already have to go look for monies for something else.
all right.
I need some money.
I have one more question,
Sure.
Really?
really. Last question. Sally, that email from Namke
It looks like I'm getting up.
about,
Yes,
have they started the work?
yes,
It's almost done, I think.
And is it jurisdictional?
I don't think so.
Okay,
Well, did they ever send you the actual figures?
No,
As they-
I
they promised?
requested the actual figures. The only jurisdiction we might have is if it's over 10,000 square feet.
No, I understand that.
Part of
but
it is repairs.
I understand.
Otherwise,
that,
it's way out of our jurisdiction.
thank you.
But what I don't understand is when, a municipal department is doing work, we do expect them to deliver figures and we decide whether it's jurisdictional. We don't really just take their word for it. And that's for municipal departments. So I'm not really clear why when we were promised figures and they don't send them, that's okay.
They are going to send them.
Okay, as long as they
I've
send them.
reiterated a couple of times that we need that figure.
Right. As long as they send it, I'm fine with it. But everybody else has to send them, so.
Yeah, I agree.
Got it.
Anything else? Sally, is there anything from your end that we should discuss, know about, or deal with?
I ain't dead yet.
That's good.
I hope that doesn't happen. Did you go out your garage door today?
Done yet.
Yeah, we got your peaches. Thank you.
What's that?
All right, hope you feel better.
Thanks. Me
Take care.
too.
So we have a meeting Friday, 1 PM at 2 Yale Hill. for compliance? You want to go to the highway garage
Go
right
quick up
afterwards?
there, yeah. That would be
We
great.
can't wait too long because it'll close up and then you got to jump the fence.
Yeah, they close at
It's
3:30.
like the youth.
Oh, yeah. I'll be-
Back way, yes, I know. All right, make a motion to close the
Yes.
meeting.
I make that motion.
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Right?
Aye.